Hi, today I'm recording from my laptop. Please give me feedback if the quality is okay. And I'm trying out BUG Beanstalk for the Echo Cup 3.0. And while I think that my usual blue-black tempo deck is better in a vacuum and I'm way more experienced with it, I predicted a lot of blue-black tempo mirror matches. So I wanted to get an edge and I thought, well, Bug Beanstalk seems good if you tune it for beating other tempo decks because you have less wastelands and less days, which is good against tempo. I mean, having less is good there. And you have Witherbloom commands as a way to kill Tamio, and you have Up the Beanstalk and Rakshasa's Bargain and Euro as like the long-term value engines. So I thought I think this should be quite good. And I also won the first match today, but unfortunately, I didn't manage to record it in time because there was some library missing. But when the replay system works again, I will record this definitely. It was against Grixis Tempo. So in that case, it worked. And then my friend Franz also plays in the Echo Cup. And he is a bit unsure about his deck choice. We'll have his coaching soon with Andreas, so I'm really interested. But on first try, he is trying out the Cutter Delver build, and I think it fits him really well because he really likes playing aggressive red-based Delver variants. So, and yeah, we just did a practice match today, and let's analyze it. So here we are on the draw, and we have a quite good land. We have lands and spells. Yeah, with Bug Beanstalk against tempo decks, you generally want to make your land drops because there can be wasteland involved. We are not scared of Bowmaster, so brainstorm on the draw. We can wait a bit with it. This is pre-board, so we do not need to be scared of red blasts. Because the times of mainboard pyroblasts are over. There was a time when people played like two mainboard pyroblasts. I think this was in 2023 when expressive iteration was legal. But today the format is too diverse to do that. So yeah, we are sadly missing removal, but we have Murktide Regent, which is really good pre-board. We have the Brainstorm to fix our hand. We can even try to cheese with the Wasteland if we are not under pressure. So let's see what France does. And here we are happy that there is no aggressive turn one play. So this is good for us because, yeah, we don't have removal. And in general, the long game favors us. So, yeah, Ponder always good to see. But I also have to say that this is more probable from the Is It Cutter build without Delver. I mean, still, they play a few Tamios, so I don't know how many, but as aggressive damage, one drop, they only have Dragon's Rage Channeler, and this can actually, yeah, smooth out the early game. But then the Cutter comes on turn two. But this is also very threatening because the Steel Cutter can go wide and we don't have any board wipes pre-board. So, and it's also not clear if we want them post-board. So here I see I don't have any removal. I don't have many early spells I want to cast. So I try to first cheese him of mana, of colored mana completely. And second, even if he has one land left, then that's not enough to play Cutter. And also because of turn one Ponder, this is possible. If he had opened with turn one Tamio or Delver, it would have been more risky, but still debatable. Okay, opponent doesn't have a Dragon's Rage Channeler, is what I think here. And also no Tamio because those cards you generally want to play out as soon as possible. Now, the difficult thing with the Beanstalk deck is that you have so many choices for lands. Fortunately, here we play with 60 minutes of time, so I can think about it a bit. I guess I want to play a fetch land here and then probably not play any basics because I need to play my duels at some point anyways. This is pre-board, so no price of progress involved. And yeah, then I don't get wastelanded and I want to play Brainstorm turn 2 probably. So let's do that. And we are expecting Cori-Steel Cutter here. Okay, opponent surveils away a wasteland. This is interesting. I tried to scroll up, but this is a video of the video because the replay system doesn't work. Okay, opponent plays the cutter, and we could definitely let this go because force of will is card disadvantage, or we could mill the force of will away. But I'm a long time away from doing anything to stabilize, like a Murktide Regent. I don't have many cards in graveyard. I only have one Uro in the deck. If I knew there was a Witherbloom command nearby, then I could let it through, but I decide to just force it here because I'm daze proof and then I have a bunch of time. So I do that. Force pitch the second Murktide because I think one Murktide will be hard enough. And yeah, I write down here. Now there's a bit less pressure, and the opponent also has the wobble. So this saves me a lot of pressure. So I'm fetching the Hedge Maze here because it's my only surveil land. And I think I keep it, but it's debatable because right now I have 4 lands if I want to go up to 5. But the way I lose this matchup usually is by not drawing enough lands and getting wastelanded. And at the end, I want to maybe go for Uro. But yeah, maybe this is a debatable. Maybe you think I should have put this in the yard. But I decide to keep it here. And I brainstorm here. And I see an endurance. And yeah, I talked with Be Excellent on the Discord, and he told me when I asked for help that my green count is a bit low in this deck. So I see that here. But actually, I would like to play endurance in this matchup for the hardcast cost most of the time, anyways. So I can safely get rid of 2 lands here, basic swamp probably, and the Bayou, so I can maybe at some time get Mystic Sanctuary and then get something back. So I pass here. Opponent doesn't have Stifle in the list as far as I know. There's Tamio, okay. And while Tamio doesn't do damage, um, the ultimate can be quite threatening, but this can lead to quite swingy games because if Tamio ultimates, then maybe you have Bowmaster and you just immediately win the game, or you don't have it, or they can kill the Bowmaster, then you immediately lose the game. But it's also often good for the opponent against this Beanstalk deck to just crack clues or down tick Tamio because you never know when the Witherbloom command will come. So here I'm brainstorming end of turn just for velocity. I mean, it's not that great because I don't have much reshuffle power, but I just want to get something done here to pressure the opponent. And I could play Murktide, but it's only a 6/6 right now if I play it. And 6/6 is, I think 7/7 is the critical size in this matchup because the opponent plays Unholy Heat, and Unholy Heat with Delirium does 6 damage. So I could play Endurance here, but the problem is I would play into Days. And so I don't do it. So I'm usually someone who plays into Days quite often. But in this case, I think my deck has enough card advantage that I can give him a few clues and yeah, make sure it resolves. And now there's a quite critical turn. And also I want to lure the opponent into attacking into my endurance. But there are only three card types, land, artifact, and I think it's sorcery, I'm not sure. My land gets wasted here, so unfortunately my hand is forced and I have to play the endurance now and cannot go for the surprise play, but it's still quite good. I don't feel threatened by Murktide because I think there's only one sorcery in the graveyard. And now if Tamio flips, I can pressure her, and I'm quite happy with my position here. And then I also could play the Fatal Push now, but it's better if I wait. So I could do it now, but then I play into days and I decide against it. And I don't know what your thought is about this, but I thought, well, Tamio, I can just attack with endurance. So I decide here to not push because I played around days the whole time. And yeah, if I lose the push to a days, I think the opponent has enough lands that picking up a land also wouldn't be great for me. And I have so many lands that I decide to just yeah play around days. So now I decide to fatal push the Dragon's Rage Channeler, which is not optimal. Optimally, I want to like kill it with a Bowmaster or kill it with Endurance block after it has to attack, but I just want to keep Tamio in check. And now I could hold up Force, but I think it's not good. I think it's much better now to make the 7/7 Murktide again, play around days. And now I cannot force for one turn, but next turn I can. Opponent has the force, so it's a good exchange for me. But unfortunately, now I'm just threading water against the Tamio, and now the opponent can also jump block. And now there is the Orcish Bowmaster, and this is a really critical turn. So I'm now playing the Orcish Bowmaster to with the aim of killing Dragon's Rage Channeler, and then I want to attack down Tamio to 2. However, the problem is the opponent is only missing a land or a sorcery in the graveyard. So it's possible that he can get Delirium. So opponent plays Lightning Bolt on, I think, on the Bowmaster and tries to surveil for a sorcery, but there is no sorcery. And opponent now casts Unholy Heat on endurance, and this is a really all in play because if the card on top of the library is a land or a sorcery, then the Dragon's Rage Channeler survives, endurance dies, and Tamio runs away with the game. But if it's not, then I kill the Dragon's Rage Channeler basically for free. The Unholy Heat does nothing, and Tamio is checked also. I mean, Tamio will survive for a while because my Orc army doesn't do damage to Tamio with the plus trigger, and Endurance does too. But still, I would be in a pretty commanding spot. But there is a misty rainforest on top, so I have to say this is really well played by Franz. And yeah, at this point, it's over. And yeah, I think I here was it here where he placed the Murktide Regent. And I don't have force mana, and at this point I surrender. But I think we both played it quite well. I mean, it's debatable if I made the correct choices with not fatal pushing the Tamio. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and let's go to sideboarding. So for sideboarding, I bring in the Carpet of Flowers too. I think they are really critical for this matchup. Veil of Summer. I mean, it's not as great as against Blue-Black Tempo because the red-based removal is not impacted by it, but I still think it's good. Endurance just to get the delirium of the Dragon's Rage Channeler and can also block the tokens. Nihil Spellbomb. Also, I think the graveyard is really important for Dragon's Rage Channeler and Murktide Regent. The two blue elemental blasts, which I have as budget options over Hydroblast, but they also have the benefit that you can't misclick with them so easily. Barrow Golf is just super strong in the matchup. And I decide to experiment here by bringing in the Board Wipes, Pernicious Deed, and Toxic Deluge because of Cutter. I'm not sure if it's correct. You can tell me. Yeah, as I said, I'm really new to BUG Beanstalk, and I decide to take out all the Force of Wills because mostly of Pyroblast and Daze and Thoughtseize. I think he normally has too much mana and Thoughtseize when he will probably bring in Price of Progress and has Lightning Bolt. It's also not that great. And I take out two Wastelands because I think attacking his mana is a bad idea in this matchup because he's the beatdown. Um, I'm missing then some mana. I mean, I have 20 lands and now I only have 18 lands plus the Lauren revealed. But I mean, sometimes the generic mana is helpful to cast stuff like Uro on the front side or up the Beanstalk or Orcish Bowmaster. But I think with the two Carpet of Flowers, it should be okay. So let's go into our match. And this is a hand that probably old Conrad from a year ago would have kept because it has a land and it has a spell I can play, but I decide to mulligan it, as I guess you all would agree, because there's no cantrip. If I don't draw a second land, then this hand just does nothing. So I'm mulliganing here. And I decide to bottom, I think the second brainstorm, but now in hindsight, I should have probably been the Rakshasa's bargain or the Bowmaster, because I don't know if I can even resolve Rakshasa's bargain. But if I don't find a brainstorm with my land, then I'm in trouble. So I nearly skipped my turn, but fortunately, France is putting a stop, and I managed to stop it in time for the second main. I could brainstorm here, but the problem is if I don't find the land in my top three, then I basically lost the game. And so I decide to wait and hope I don't get red blasted here. Opponent plays Mishra's Bauble and targets himself, okay, and does not fetch or, yeah, so apparently he likes the card. And now I play my brainstorm, hope I don't get forced or dazed or red blasted on the brainstorm. And I think now is not the time for the pernicious deed. I need to keep my lands. I just want to get my land base under control. And I also think maybe I don't need three Orcish Bowmasters. So, but okay, that's different, interesting. Sometimes you make different decisions in hindsight. So now I think, okay, it would take too long to get Rakshasa's bargain. So I put this back and hope that Bowmaster can do something. And I mean, Bowmaster is sometimes good in the matchup, sometimes not, because of all the baubles that he plays. Maybe he boarded out some baubles, but the baubles are really good with the Steel Cutter, and the Orcish Bowmaster is really good against the tokens. Here I get wastelanded, and I want to increase my chance of drawing lands. And I don't go for the basics. So this is different with Blue-Black Tempo. I would try to set up basic island and basic swamp here. And now I go for the hedge maze and bin the pernicious deed because I want more lands. I'm in a bit of trouble because I need to find another land to play around days. But opponent has a slow start, so now I have Carpet of Flowers, the card which is really, really good. I would have liked to play like 3 Carpet of Flowers because yeah, this build was specifically built to counter tempo, but I looked up all the online deck lists and they only play 1 or 2 carpets. So I thought, okay, try it with 2 carpets. And now I can play one of the 3 Bowmasters, get white mana to send a message. I don't know which one, but yeah, opponent bowls the Bowmasters. Okay, I get some exchange. And opponent plays a Murktide Regent. Okay, a 5/5 is still beatable. And I don't draw the third land, but fortunately here I have the Carpet of Flowers, so I can play a Barrow around days. And I feel quite safe here because Barrow cannot be red blasted and he only plays, I think, 1 Brazen Borrower, but he also has Submerge, which I'm not sure is a good choice because not enough people play green, but it works out really, really well in this case. So I just get nearly time walked here. I draw it again, and I'm in the same situation as last turn, only that I took 5 damage. And I need to play out the card again. So Barrowgolf. I think all the other stuff doesn't make sense. I mean, I could play Bowmaster and try to race, but yeah, against this deck, I think this is not a fight I can win. And the Barrowgolf gets delayed again. And I could also play my own Murktide Regent, but it would only be 4/4, which is not enough here. Opponent can play the Brazen Borrower, but decides here to play another Murktide Regent, and this is really a problem for me. This deck is actually quite weak to Murktide anyways, because I don't have the red color for red blasts, and I play 1 Murderous Cut and 1 Sheoldred's Edict. Maybe I should have increased those numbers, but I wanted to have 4 Orcish Bowmasters. Maybe that was incorrect. But yeah, the deck is mostly tuned against blue-black tempo, where I think killing the opponent's Orcish Bowmasters is the highest priority. So in this case, the Bowmasters actually don't do that much. So unfortunately now I cannot play the Barrowgolf again because I would just die. But I mean alone, I know, but I have enough mana from the carpet. I have 6 mana. And so I need to play Endurance as a jump blocker. And here I make a mistake and use the trigger of Endurance on him just for fun. But I would have died quite easily if he had just brainstormed at this point because, or bolted something, because then the Murktides would be bigger. I'm at 8 life, so the 6/6 would be a 7/7. Or if I jump block, I mean, for example, bolt plus 5/5 would kill me. So I should have just not used the trigger. Fortunately, I don't get punished. But I mean, it wasn't a tournament match. We played just for fun. But yeah, you shouldn't do that. Okay, so opponent's turn. And yeah, opponent can now attack me and I have to jump block. And my only hope is that I can get some life. But the problem is I don't get back enough life. Tamio immediately gets flipped here. I don't have the Bowmaster, but I'm really out of choices. France can just dictate pretty much what I have to do. So I have to block the big one here. And because of Tamio, now I have to, because of Tamio, I do 1 less damage and get 1 less life. But at least I can try to come back with my own Murktide Regents here. So I can attack him or I can attack Tamio. I decide to attack him because I want to mill more cards to grow the Barrow Golf. The cards that I get on my hand probably doesn't matter that much unless it's the second endurance. So I don't mill a creature. So I'm not sure. Maybe I should have attacked Tamio, but there wasn't much interesting in the graveyard. And now I try to play out two Murktides, which can maybe stabilize me. So the first one gets pyroblasted, and I don't have a force. Also don't have. I mean, I don't have a force in my deck anymore, and I don't have the blue blast in hand. And now I play the second Murktide. The problem is that Tamio, because I didn't attack Tamio, this means that now he can get back the Pyroblast. So I'm nearly in a checkmate. The only thing I can do is if he uses Tamio to get back the Pyroblast, then I can clear out his graveyard, but this will also grow the Murktides. So Murktides get 6/6 and 8/8. And at this point, I will go down to one, but he even has another Pyroblast and wins the game here. So I have to say, yeah, well played, Franz. And I'm really interested to hear from you, listeners and viewers, what you think. Was this played correctly or did we make some misplays? But I think it was really cool match. I think in general I should be favored in a matchup, but yeah, this time I lost to a clean 2-0. And yeah, I hope you like it. Next time maybe the replays work again and maybe I can record with the desktop PC with the better mic. Let me know if you like it. Maybe I will bring more BUG Beanstalk content and see you later.